How we doing, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good sequester. I know a few of you are in Florida are able to go out now. In Los Angeles, we're still stuck here. I want to apologize first of all because I haven't been able to get my hair cut. Some of you have, and I have not. So hopefully that will be ending soon. So we're here to talk about Batwoman. So the internet this past week blew up based on Ruby Rose's announcement that she would be leaving the show. Depending on what you read, part of it's some of the articles said that she quit, and some of the articles said that she was exiting. So, but then it was later on revealed that it was a mutual desire between the both parties. So, whenever somebody says exiting, the first thing that comes to my mind is that she was fired. So normally when you have a high profile person that you're dealing with and show in this matter, amicably they get together, they're the agents and the executives get together and they say, well, how can we make this announcement where it doesn't blow back in our face? And of course, Ruby Rose doesn't want it leaked out that she was fired. So they just say, all right, we'll just say that you're exiting, that it was mutual, and we'll just leave it at that. So I know she was harmed on the set at one point where she had to have surgery. And then, and on top of that, we know the ratings went down the tube. All right, and it's basically based on the whole adage that's going on right now with the get woke, go broke scenario. We've seen this now many, many times, and it's just not stopping. So maybe this will be the catalyst. You would have thought that things like Charlie's Angels tanking and Birds of Prey tanking, and now the ratings is going down the tube on shows like this. So you would think that it would start calming down now, but it's really not. And I'm going to go into that in a second. So the beginning of the show, they had a 1.7 million viewers or something to that effect, and now they're down to 500,000. So it's just they've lost 2/3 of their audience because the show is just bad. I mean, it is bad. I love superhero shows, and I go see superhero movies, and of course I write superhero stuff, so it's just in my genre. However, I can't abide by a bad show, and I've seen every episode, so it's not like oh, you're commenting on something you haven't seen. I saw every single episode. I am a fan of Rachel Skarsten. I've seen almost pretty much everything that she's done. I mean, she played Queen Elizabeth in Reign. So, I mean, I know she can act, and I saw her do the first superhero thing that she did, which was Birds of Prey, which was also bad. So it's like Birds of Prey, they just can't get right. It's bad no matter what iteration it does, whether it was television or movie. So she's good in this role, but the role is not good, period. So she can only do what can be done. And yes, I was a big fan of the comic as well, which is part of the problem here because I know the source material. Alice was in the very first issues of Batwoman when she had her own series. But it was a very short-lived storyline, and yes, it was her sister and everything to that effect, the same as the television show, but not to this extent. And the writers, I mean, if you watched some of the videos out there that review each individual episode, you'll see how bad the writing is, not just in dialogue, but in plot, in continuity. Like in one piece they'll say something and then they'll totally retcon it the next. It's very crazy how anybody would even allow these scripts to be shot at all. It's like they have no filter between the writing room and air. I don't understand how we don't have the executives aren't getting involved more, especially with a decline. I mean, when you have a series that's straight away, okay, they kind of go the hands off. But when you have a show that's constantly doing this, why is nobody getting involved and saying, yeah, we got a problem here. Let's take a look at every script before it goes out. You have 5 or 6 or 10 people going over these scripts that are getting paid pretty well to let this thing just go out onto the air, or even spend, I don't know what the budget is, but it's got to be at least $2-3 million an episode, where they're just going, let's just do it. Not to mention the fact that it Batman bashes whenever it can, which is another problem, because if you're watching a Bat show, that means that you are a fan of Batman, all right? So when you're now taking a Bat show and you're bashing the character it's based on, how can you respect the show? And so the whole premise is that Batman, and then later on they establish this, they say it in passing, they don't ever really delve into it, that he killed the Joker and couldn't live with himself, so he left Gotham City. That's what they allude to in certain episodes. But the bottom line is he left Gotham City without any protection. I don't know where the rest of the Bat family is at this point or anything like that. On top of that, they take major Batman characters like Hush, who was probably one of the best storylines in Batman history, or at least recent history, and they make him, I don't know what they make him. They have the guy from Revenge, who played the gay friend, play Hush. I don't know what that's all about, but it's bad. So they take none of the source material to heart, and they just keep making this stuff without pretty much a care in the world. And it's more about, and everybody else has said this as well, it's about the politics of it rather than telling a good story. How can we push the LGBTQ community, we'll just call it the alphabet community from this point on, rather than telling a Batman story? Not to mention the fact that she comes in without any kind of training or anything. Yes, she was part of the military, but that doesn't give you Batman training. All right, how to use his gadgets, how to not use a gun. That was the big thing with her when she first started. She was using a gun, and Batman said, if you're going to use a gun, you ain't going to wear the bat symbol on you. So choose one. So he ended up training her. And you cannot have Batwoman without having Batman. That's the thing. So now that they are starting brand new with a new actress, and this is where we have another point going to come in, but with a new actress, they have the ability of wiping the slate clean and just starting from scratch. There's absolutely no need to go back into this past season. So you're going to have a new actress. And that works well with Doctor Who, where he's, regenerates into a new body. But you're not going to have that with Batwoman. So here's the perfect opportunity to just go, okay, we're just going to start over. And you could just go 2 years into the future and say, okay, whatever happened there happened 2 years ago. Now she's well-trained, well-versed in everything like that. Her and Luke are, synonymous and all this stuff. Not to mention the fact, if you look at all the other CW shows that have been successful, The Flash, Arrow, thinks to that effect, to a lesser extent, Legends. They all have a team. Okay, there's Team Arrow, there's Team Flash. Those are the ones that are doing well and continue to do well because they have all of these other characters. They need to get a team where she has other people to rely on and other storylines to go off rather than it focusing purely on her. I think everybody can attest that she is not not likable, not extended in her verse of being a character. So she's bland and kind of boring. And so is Batman to a certain extent. What really makes Batman Batman is all of his rogue of villains. And none of those villains really took shape in here besides the one character. And that's the problem. Even Supergirl right now brought in Lex Luthor, and John Cryer is not the best Lex Luthor in the world, but he's trying really hard. And he's doing some stuff with the characters. He doesn't look like the character, doesn't act like the character in any way, but he's doing a good job of trying really hard to make this work. And it's making at least Supergirl a little bit more rounded. And even Supergirl had one episode that focused on the LGBTQ community here, and it was just cringeworthy. So now that they're replacing a new actress, you would think that they would just get, okay, we're going to get this amazing actress to come in and be able to play this role to its pinnacle. Okay, we're going to get somebody that can really knock this out of the park. No, the executives don't do that for I have no idea what reason. If it was because they got a little bit of blowback because Ruby Rose is bisexual, so the LGBT community said, okay, I'm going to, we're not going to really back this person because she's not really fully gay. if such a thing is possible. So they double down on this and they say, no, we're not going to hire the best actress we can get. We're just not going to do that. We're going to hire somebody from the alphabet community only. And Hollywood has blown up about all these little teeny things, but not this. Nobody's touching the fact that these executives have gone out and publicly said that we're going to segregate. Publicly said we're going to segregate. And nobody, besides the little YouTubers, are calling them out on this. How is this not a big deal? So, for them not going to the best person for the job, which is what this is supposed to be based on. Hollywood is supposed to be America is supposed to be based on that. Okay? We see this all the time with, oh, yes, we can just open this up to minority actors. Oh, we're going to change this into a black character. We're going to change this into which, when it comes to source material, you don't have a problem with that. But they're doing it. But now, because it's the alphabet community, everybody's just taking hands off. And I just cannot agree with that. So, Taron Egerton. He just did Rocket Man. He's not gay. And if he is, better tell his girlfriend about it. Rami Malek, who played Freddie Mercury. Not gay. He has a girlfriend too. She's pretty good looking too. And let's talk about Gia. All right? Angelina Jolie played Gia. Angelina Jolie's not gay. What does it matter? It's never mattered before whether the actress playing the part was gay or not. So are we going to be that literal that the character is gay? So you have to. So what if you have a character that is a quadriplegic? What do? Break his back? Oh, this character has no arm. Let's just cut the actor's arm off so that now he has to match. What are we talking about here? Even on their own network, Kyler Leigh, who plays in Supergirl, plays a gay character. She's not gay in real life. She has a kid, a husband and a kid. I do not understand this. Let's even talk about the biggest lesbian show ever made, okay? And that is the L Word, okay? The L Word was all about lesbians. That's what it was about. A very few people, actors in that thing, were actually gay. So what? But yet, none of the LGBT community had a problem with that show ever. They used to have viewing parties to view these things. So now you have Batwoman that's made for a comic book viewing audience. And again, we have this dropping of their ratings continuously. The LGBT community is not getting behind this show. So by doubling down on it is not going to help your ratings. The only thing that's going to help your ratings is to bring the comic book community into it that you have steered away from it. So I do not understand what the executives at Warner Brothers / CW are thinking. Unless they're just saying, okay, let's just give this thing 10 more episodes and call it quits, which may be the case, and that's unfortunate because I have Batwoman statues. I've spent hundreds of dollars on this character, and it's not because I don't like the character. The character is good and has a lot to offer that they're just throwing away because they have an agenda. And that's the problem, I think, that everybody is seeing, and for some reason they're not or don't care. And that's the problem with Hollywood right now. They just don't care. They'd rather try to make a certain community happy who aren't going to back them anyway. So nobody's running out from the LGBT community and going, hey, I'm going to buy this Batwoman. They don't care. They don't care. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. If you care to ever watch the show, it's bad. It's very, very, very bad. And Ruby Rose did not do it any good whatsoever. She was horrible in the role. She was stone-faced through the whole thing. It was just bad. Some of the other actresses were good. The guy playing Luke Fox is good, but there's nothing there for them. There's no character development for them at all. And if I was going to rate this show in comparison, like we want to talk about female empowerment, I just finished watching The Great. And it was great. The acting in that, Elle Fanning, Nicholas Hoult, those two, not the other cast members did a really good job too, but those two were amazing. And guess what? Elle Fanning is not really a queen. Or an empress in this case. Oh my God, Hollywood. And I'm here. I hope it doesn't rub off on me. And if I was going to rate this show, it's literally like a 1. If it's a 1 because there is, a couple of decent fight scenes in there occasionally. And some, Skarsgård hit some notes a few times, but if I could rate it a 0, it's pretty fucking close. Anyway, you have a great rest of the weekend, and let's hope that this is over soon. so we can all go out and do conventions and go to the movies and and see loved ones and travel more than 2 miles, etc. All right, have a good one, and make sure that you subscribe, hit the little bell, and share on your social media. Thank you very much.